Hi, Minder.
Hi, Nikki.
We're back again.
Back in black.
Back in black. Well, I'm back in black. 'Cause I'm back in black. Yep, and singing again. Seems like the singing always ramps up the second time we record.
I think it's because like our brains are leaking just a little bit, so it's whatever's left, man.
Yeah, because to give you a peek behind the curtain here, when we record now, we're recording like 2 at a time.
At least we try.
If we try, just to sort of give ourselves a little bit of a buffer in case we have to skip a week or something. We don't ever want to be too far out without content if we can help it. So we've been recording 2 at a time as much as we can. But anyway, hi, I'm Nikki, and that's Amanda. Say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And we are two neurodivergent best friends traveling the neuroverse together because we are living in a neurotypical world and we are not neurotypical girls. Minder. We've loosely talked about what we're going to talk about, and I've changed my mind like 4 times in the last 30 minutes. But I think we decided we're going to make this our year-end episode. Yeah?
Yeah.
Our wrapper-up episode. A reflection, if you will, on the year that we've had, and some hopes and dreams and goals and things, if there are any, for next year. And the next time you hear from us will be January 2nd. So it'll be after the new year. So we're going to do this now because you'll be hearing this the day after Christmas. We're really running on that day after holiday schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So, because this is going to be a rather conversation-y type topic, let's just roll into it. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do here?
How about you start so I can see what kind of vibe, what kind of direction you're in.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let me burp first, though.
Okay. Get the burps out of the way.
Yeah, I got to. So
I tend to burp by just leaning over to the side. Anytime if Nikki ever sees me, like no one here sees it, but if anytime Nikki sees me like do this, it's because I'm burping.
Yeah, her mic is better for that than mine. I'm too close to mine. I have to hit the mute button on my mic, or you will hear like in your face. So, you poor earbud listeners would have your eardrums blown the fuck out. So, anyway, what I want to talk about is just kind of like reflecting on my year because I feel like 2024 for me was so fucking chaotic. Like, it's probably one of the more chaotic years I've ever had.
2020 for you.
It really was. It really was in a lot of ways. But in a lot of ways, 2020, the sequel is what it felt like. It was a lot of massive change, a lot of upheaval, a lot of identity destroying events that happened this year. Mental health destroying events that happened this year. And if you guys haven't been listening for a very long time and you maybe don't know, I kind of want to recap not only for myself, but for anyone who's maybe a newer listener and hasn't gone back through the old episodes and kind of knows what happened. So at the beginning of this year, I was in the throes of working full time. We had just moved our store, I believe, or we're in the middle of moving our store in January. I think we opened like mid to late January in the new place that we were going to, which thankfully was only right down the damn sidewalk from where we were. But that time for me was already very stressful. There was a lot going on. I was pouring all of my fucking self into my job. Um, and this is with the, with the benefit of hindsight now, I can sort of see how things degraded quickly. But I was very much in the throes of I am a full time working mom. I am wanting to climb the ladder at my job as much as I can. I'm wanting to put everything I have into my job. I was a stay at home mom for, the first, 7 years of my oldest kid's life. Like I was, that person that was always home with the kids. And I got this job and I just, quickly sort of moved up. And January, this past January was like the culmination of everything we had been working for as a store. We finally got our new store. I was looking, I think I'd already had the assistant manager position by that time or was getting it soon. And I was a big part of the move. I was putting in, at one point we did like a 74-hour week. Like it was a lot going on. But also around this time was when I started having these weird dizzy spells. My muscles were just really tired all the time. And I thought, well, duh, you're just working a lot, right? You're tired. You're neurodivergent. This is just what life is. Your stress levels are through the roof. So yeah, of course you're going to have, problems. But I've been going to the doctor. My heart rate was all over the place. I was living off of my ADHD meds and caffeine and shit food. And because I didn't have time, I felt like I didn't have time to make lunches or remember to pack a healthy lunch. I was literally living out of DoorDash. Like DoorDash was my fucking life for breakfast and lunch sometimes. And then McDonald's on the way home for dinner half the time or some sort of takeout because who the fuck had time to cook between me and Jordan working full time and taking care of the kids. So, my body was just deteriorating. And that's not just, I'm not fast food shaming anyone, by the way. I'm not that person. I still eat fast food from time to time. I don't eat the healthiest diet still. It's not that. It's just to explain, give better context to the situation we were in. And, in, end of February, I started really not doing well, but I was pushing myself and I didn't really tell anyone what was going on. But I was getting really scared because I would wake up in the morning and I would feel like I can't even get myself out of the bed. And finally, I made an appointment with my doctor because I broke down to my husband and told him what was going on. There was a couple mornings where he had to literally lift me out of the bed because I did not have the strength to sit up. And on March 1st, I went to the doctor and broke down in her office, told her what was going on. That morning when I got up, it was my day off. I think it was a Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday. And I had that day off and I woke up in the morning, put some mascara on because I think I was going to go run errands or something after that appointment. I don't know why I bothered to put mascara on to go to the doctor, but I just did. And I remember struggling to open the mascara wand. I remember struggling to lift the wand to my eyeball. Everything just felt like I was moving through cement, and I had no energy. And I broke down in her office, told her what was going on, and she told me, guess what? You just earned yourself 6 weeks of no working. And I had a mental breakdown because I didn't even like taking a day off at this point. That is how absolutely engrossed in this place that I was. It was not healthy. It was not cute. It was probably weird to the people even that I was working with. At this point, I'm sure they were all weirded out that I was like always there and never wanted to leave. I had gotten so intertwined in that place that it had literally caused my body to completely break the fuck down. I was pushing past so much pain and so much fatigue, and I had nothing left to give physically or mentally or emotionally. I was having meltdowns all the time, even at work on people, which is not characteristic of me as a person, especially not a professional, because I don't like to operate that way anyway. But I was melting down on coworkers. I was having outbursts. Like, it was not cute. And so I got 6 weeks of leave. And that kicked off a road that I never thought I would be walking down in my entire fucking life, which is months and months of doctors and specialist after specialist, and all chasing down this possibility that I had hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And it made sense with a lot of the other symptoms I was having, a lot of the other issues I've had during my life, other medical conditions that I was diagnosed with earlier, the fact that I had a prolapsed uterus at a young age, that, you know, my pregnancies were really difficult and early. A lot of these things were, you know, my doctor was putting these things together slowly, and she came to this conclusion that she thinks this is what's going on with me. So we started pursuing all these different specialists, and all while I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get to go back to work at this point. And fast forward, the end of my 6 weeks is up. She tells me, probably not a good idea for you to go back to work, period. And then I really had a fucking mental breakdown. Because I think Amanda remembers the first mental breakdown I had when I was first put on leave. I think I was about a week and a half or so in, and I was like, I have to get the fuck out of my house. Like, I have to get out of my house. And so I went down to her house and hung out with her for a little bit, and I had an absolute fucking mental breakdown on her couch. And God bless her, she just sat next to me and let it happen. And it's really all I needed in that moment. But I could tell she felt bad because she didn't know what to do. She was just like, there.
Yeah, just imagine like Sheldon, like with the broom, like there. It's all
Yeah.
fine. Because like I'm one of those people where I empathize so bad, but it's like also it feels awkward to me. Like I don't know if that person wants to be hugged. I don't know if they just want someone just to be there, like a listening.
You don't know what the rules are in the situation.
Like, I don't
what
know
are the
what
rules?
this person wants, like in terms of like grieving or mourning or just melting down or anything. So it's just to me, it's always felt awkward. Like I feel bad for the person, and it's like I want to comfort them, and I just don't know on how. Basically,
yeah. And like, you know, we're chasing all these diagnoses down. I'm having mental breakdowns, and I want to give all this backstory to tell you that, like, my identity in that, you know, for the last like 2.5 years prior to that, you know, prior to me having to stop working in March, my last 2.5 years of my life was I'm a full-time working mom. Or a working mom, and then I became shortly after that a full-time working mom within a few months. I was so fucking entwined in this job.
It's like it became your identity.
It did. It 100% did. It ruled. I talked about it after work. I talked about it at work. Like it was who I was. I absorbed this place as who I was. And while nobody asked me to do that, right? I felt like for whatever reason I had to, and that's just my really poor boundary setting that I have, and not knowing how to just do
you're an all or nothing
my job and go home, you know?
You're an all or nothing person when it comes to giving yourself to something.
I really am, and it's oftentimes to my detriment. And I'm not saying that this job caused me to have fucking EDS, because obviously it's genetic. I was born with it. So, like, but I do think
maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline, you know?
Yeah, maybe it's Maybelline. But I think it did end up triggering what became a, you know, things started really getting bad in January. Almost a year long, you know, flare, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, it taught me now, sitting in December, you know, right now as we record this, December 10th, but I've been in therapy again. I've been working through a lot of things, and something that I've come to realize about myself is that I have a really strong desire to be needed and to be important, not just needed, important.
And like
I want to be
someone that can
important.
be counted on.
Yes. And when I feel like I achieve that, when I become someone who can be counted on, then I absolutely throw everything I have into keeping that, into making sure that I don't ever lose grace in that area of my
It's like
life.
a status thing.
It is, but it isn't. It's like I wasn't doing it for status. That's not what it was.
That's what
It
I mean.
was
I'm not saying like you did it for status. It's more of a I want to be seen as this person who matters, who
yeah,
like basically if I wasn't here, this place would go down the drain type of thing.
right. Yeah. And I created a very unhealthy attachment to that place. And it did become my identity. And when you have something that you're so engrossed in and so interwoven with that it becomes part of who you are, and you start putting that before other things in your life, and then that's suddenly ripped away from you. Like, and you're someone who can't deal well with change, and now you feel like you're letting people down because now you can't be the person that can be counted on anymore because your body won't allow you to be. It is the most like earth shattering, soul shaking fucking feeling to go from zero, or from 1,000 to zero in one doctor's office appointment that lasted 30 minutes. And that really fucked me up. Like, it
It's also
really
part of
fucked me
the
up.
whole people pleasing anxiety. It's
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
because I'm the same way. Like if I don't get this done, I'm disappointing a bunch of people, even though my logical brain says these people couldn't care less. Like,
Right.
because there's like basically at like my job, there's people that just like you said, they go to work and they go home. They don't think about work. They don't do anything. They basically do what their job pays them to do, which is perfectly fine. Like I
Yeah.
wish I could be that way. Like I
Same.
honestly wish I could care less. Like there's some times where it's like I feel like I do all this extra work for really no recognition. Like it just makes some of it just makes me feel good, but it's also like it's kind of like a people pleasing thing. Like if I don't do
Yeah.
this, then I'm gonna disappoint people.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and that is what it is. Like, I've talked it over with my therapist, and she's like, that is, I think that's where that comes from, like, from everything you've talked to me about and you shared with me, and the way that you talked about the job and the way that you're feeling now. It just seems like this is that deep rooted people pleasing in you, where you feel like, and the sense of belonging that I got from being there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sense of belonging that I hadn't really experienced, if I'm being honest, since high school. That belonging and camaraderie and like being around a group of people, and having a shared interest with more than one person, it's something I hadn't really experienced since high school.
Mm-hmm.
And something that obviously I was deeply craving in my life, whether I realized it or I didn't in that moment. And it consumed me, quite literally. And then I lost it all. And it forced me to quite literally sit down and think about what my life is going to be like now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fucking scary in itself. At 34, I now have to worry about how long an event's going to be, and is there going to be proper seating? And if there is seating, is it seating that I can sit in for a long enough time without having my legs go numb? Or, am I going to can I bring my water in? Is there, like there's so many things I have to think about now before I go do something. Or if I have, the day before that, if there's, an event the day before, and then there's also something I have to go do the next day. It's like, I might not be able to do that thing because I did something the day before. And then there's days where I might have had the entire week of no appointments or doing nothing. But guess what? That day, my body said, fuck you, you're staying in bed today because the humidity changed outside or barometric pressure or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't have control over my body anymore either. So not only do I not have control over my fucking life, but now I don't have control over my own fucking body. And it's like the craziest thing that I've ever really had to go through in my life. And I'm still working out some of this stuff, but I think I've arrived at like this place now where I've had time to unpack a lot of this stuff, and I feel like where I sit right now today on December 10th that I'm actually much more of a fully fledged person. I have much more of my own sense of self and identity now than I ever have in my entire life. And I think that's one of the blessings that came out of this very fucked up time that I would not wish on anybody, is it did give me time, much like 2020, it did give me time to sit and think about, who the fuck do I want to be? Like, what is it that I actually really want and need? What am I really fucking looking for? Why do I do the shit that I do? Why do I throw everything I have into a job that could give a fuck less if I was there or not? You know what I mean? Like, why do I do this shit? Where does this people-pleasing shit come from? And where I've sort of landed is, like, I think the way that my brain is wired is part of it. I also think my upbringing is part of it. Being raised by a single mom who did have to put her entire life into her job because otherwise we didn't fucking eat. Like, she had to. Like, what other choice did she fucking have? So, I saw that as that's how you be a person. And like we talked about last week, where it's like you just sort of chameleon your way through life sometimes when you're learning how to behave in the world. You look for the examples in other people, and the examples I had was a strong-willed, take no shit boss bitch who ran her job, and that was what she was about, and that's what she was good at. And I think deep down, I think that's the way I'm supposed to be. And I've ingrained that narrative into my own brain that, like, I'm not successful unless I'm like that. And it's not true. And I've spent so much of my time fighting what I actually want. And I feel like my life has given me so many opportunities to just be what I actually like, be in and be present in the things that are actually good for me. And while those things are happening around me, I'm so busy trying to get the fuck out of the situation that I'm in that I can't realize that maybe this is what I need right now. Mm-hmm. Like during this time, I don't know how many times I've been like, well, maybe I can do this job, or maybe I can find this, or maybe I could start this hobby, or maybe I could do this thing, or, like I talked about maybe wanting to go back to school. And that's still something that I'm considering. But the one thing that I've never allowed myself to just be and enjoy being is a mom. Like, and I know that might sound stupid, but because I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, but for those entire 7 years, I was so focused on, is this the right thing I should be doing? Should I be working? This is really fucking hard, because it was really fucking hard, and I didn't have a lot of help, and you know, I just didn't feel present. It's really fucking hard to be present when you have little kids. It just is. Like, that's just the fucking reality of it. You're in survival mode for several many years when those things are babies, you know?
It's because you have to be on. Because like
Yeah,
basically,
on all
if
the
you're not
time.
on, you're basically, and it's not. It's part of like the basically the people pleasing thing. It's people pleasing, but one step further in that you have to make sure these little humans don't die.
Yeah, that I literally had two people who would die if I didn't fucking tend to them. So like, and being not knowing at the time that I was neurodivergent and not understanding why I felt like I was so shitty at being a mom. Like, obviously, my kids are fine. They lived, and I figured it out. But I never felt like I was good at that either. And so I felt like maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I'm supposed to be a working mom, and that's my role in life. And then I finally got a chance to try that, and I thought that that's what I needed and wanted in life. But again, hindsight's always fucking 2020. When I look back on those 2 years of my life, so many things that should have had my attention did not have my attention because my job did. And that is not who I am as a person. That's not what I want my children to remember me as. It's not the mom I want to be. And I have never allowed myself to just enjoy living a slow and content life as a stay-at-home mother. Obviously, my body does not need to be doing a 8-hour day, 5-day a week job. Like, my body's not cut out for it. No matter how I want to convince myself that it's possible for me to do it, without an education, there are not many job opportunities available to me that would allow me the type of schedule that I'm looking for. And childcare is fucking expensive,
Not
and
only
we don't have a lot of help.
physicality, but like physicality. There's not a
Yeah,
lot of like part-time work from home or part-time office jobs that allow
right.
to have a flexible schedule. It,
Most office
it's
jobs
retail.
want you there full time.
Yeah.
Like they're looking to hire full time people. Not saying it's impossible, and obviously, if I had to work, I am very privileged to be able to stay home, and I understand that. And that is something that I wish that I could have I wish I could have enjoyed it more during those times, but we also struggled financially because of it. I say I was privileged to be able to stay home, but we did struggle financially during those first 7 years. We did. We really did. And we got ourselves in a lot of debt. But I didn't have another option because he was gone all the fucking time and we had no help. So I had to stay home. And I don't like feeling forced into things either. And I think that's another reason why I struggled to enjoy it. And I think that's another reason why I was struggling so hard this year is because I was forced to sit the fuck down. I really was. I did not have any choice in the matter. It was literally ripped away from me in one 30-minute doctor's office visit. And contending with that has been really difficult. But I am just starting to soften to the idea and understand that I feel like I was put in this position for a reason. And even if I wasn't, this is the cards I have been dealt. And what is the fucking point in fighting it? What is that getting me? I'm not going to get being pissy and upset every day about not being able to do things that I think I should be doing is not helping me. Do you know what I mean?
It just breeds discontent. It doesn't. It's not a healthy way of thinking. Like, it's an understandable way of thinking. Like, you're not any less valid for thinking it. It's just. It's not. It's basically. It's basically just like a constant pity party. Like, I could. Like, oh, it's like, oh, look, all these things I should be doing, or all these things I could do, or should have, or. But it's basically just. It's not. it's not a good way of thinking. Like, not exactly, especially like with anxiety and with like FOMO, that sort of thing. It's just not a healthy way to live life, like a day by day.
No, it's not. And I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm ready to stop fighting. I'm ready to stop fighting this shit that is not worth my time to fight anymore. I cannot win a battle with my own body. I'm not going to win. My body's going to win every fucking time. It just is. And instead of fighting it, I could relax into it and learn more about how to make myself stronger so that my day-to-day life isn't as restricted as it was just a few months ago. And there are ways for me to invest in myself right now as far as my physical health and my mental health that I have access to because thank God we have healthcare. And also YouTube has free workouts and I have some weights at home. So like, and even if I didn't, I have body weight stuff. So there's body weight stuff you can do. Like I am able to spend time on myself and just relax into the fact that right now I am meant to be home and I'm happy to be, I can be happy to be home. I can be. Instead of fighting it, I can be happy about it and enjoy it and learn to find the beauty in this bullshit because that's all I really can do. Because like you said, what's the fucking point? I've been sad about it for an entire goddamn year. And I don't want to be sad about it anymore. I'm tired of fighting it. And so it's been really nice to just be at home and work out when I can. And when I can't, relax in my recliner and play my video game and not feel any fucking guilt about that. Learning to not feel guilt about doing things that I enjoy simply for the fucking enjoyment has been radically weird for me because I always have this underlying like thing in my brain of like there's something you should be doing. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting, there's something you could be doing. Do you know what I mean? Like
you're not being productive right now. Like couldn't you be doing something productive at the same time? It's kind of like the other day I on Sunday, like I played my game, but it's also like, okay, if you're gonna play your game, you're gonna also have to do laundry. So I did like 3 loads of laundry at the same time. Granted, I needed to do the laundry because it's been like 2 weeks since I've let it pile up. And so I did 3 loads of laundry that needed to be done, but it's also like, basically, you're not allowed to relax 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just relax. You have to, like, and especially like, it's easier when I'm in my office because it's just like a smaller room. But like when I'm in my living room and I'm like watching TV in my living room, I just look at all the things. It's like, you really should go pick up that pile that's just been sitting there for a month, or look at that stuff over there. You really should just put that stuff away. You just keep walking past it. What's wrong with you? That sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just constant reminders of all the things you could have done and should have done. And like, it really fucks with your head, man. And I don't need any help feeling like shit. I don't. Like, I don't need any other reason to not feel good. I'm so excited for the first time ever to just explore what it's like to enjoy the season of fucking life that I'm in. Basically, and I know that might sound bullshit and like weird and like, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said basically just be.
Yeah. Just exist. Just existing and learning to quiet that voice in my head that is constantly telling me that I should be doing something else, that I'm not good enough unless I'm doing something, that my worth is wrapped up in what I'm doing and my work and how much I could get done in a day and how clean my house is and how much money's in my bank account because I got up and went to work, whether I fucking liked it or not, or if I was sick or not, if I was tired or not, my body hurt or not, I got up and went to work because that's what you do. You fucking get over it. Like, to not have that voice constantly rule my life, it's still there. It's not all the way gone, and maybe it won't ever be, but to learn to have dominion over it instead of it having dominion over me has really taught me how to look for and be content in the everyday, very simple, mundane things.
And like be present in the moment type of thing.
Yes. And just be very present in the moment. And I'm happy that when my kids are sick, I don't have to send them to school or figure out who's going to come sit with them so I can go to work or call off or feel disgustingly sick to my stomach because God forbid I have to fucking call off work or make my husband stay home with them because his job is more flexible than mine and I can go to work so that I can go to work and he can stay home. Like, I can stay home with my kids. I can be a mom to my kids and just take care of them and be there for them when they need me, whether that's in a happy time or a sad time or a sick time or just hanging out. Like, I get to experience my children in a different way now because I'm not in survival mode anymore. For the most part, the kids take care of themselves now. They're pretty self-sufficient. Do I still need to remind them of things and make sure they don't die? Yes, absolutely. But like, I'm not constantly making sure they're not putting their finger in a light socket or like, like, it's a different phase of life when you have a 12 and a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? It just is. It's different than having newborn and toddler and very young children. And I'm happy that I get to just experience this now. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to now, and especially through the next year, is discovering what it feels like to build physical strength in my body. Because it's been almost an entire year of not having any physical strength in my body and recovering from running myself into the ground, I'm now at a place where physically I can start to explore rebuilding my strength and working out again and learning how to work out to where I don't hurt myself and learning what my body needs in order for my joints to not feel so terrible and my ligaments to get a break. Like, knowing that I do need to be physically fit or be working on my physical fitness so that my ligaments can take a break and my muscles can do a little bit more work. Like, it is going to be, I'm excited for the first time in my life to like start to explore what it looks like to be strong. And I've never had a feeling of being happy about working out either. Like, it's always felt like it's something I had to do because I had to achieve some weight loss goal or look a certain way or whatever. And it's like, I probably won't even weigh myself, honestly, unless I look at the scale at the doctor's office. Like, I go to the doctor enough, I'm weighed enough. Like, I don't need to weigh myself at home. This is not about a weight loss thing. This is about fueling my body and finding what feels good and learning what it's like to be strong. And I set a silly goal. It's silly, but it's also like along the lines of this feeling strong thing. My husband's in the military, and military push-ups are different than like regular ass push-ups, like where you put your arms out to the left and right of you and you can spread them out a little bit,
or something.
They have to be, your elbows have to be glued to your torso and your hands have to be like right in front of your body, and it's a different kind of movement. And as someone who's never had upper body strength ever
like,
in my entire fucking life,
I can't even do like a regular push up. I have no upper body strength whatsoever.
Yeah, I can't either. And so I set a silly goal for myself that by December 31st of 2025, I will be able to do one real, full military push-up.
Like all
That
the way
is
to
what
the
I want to
ground.
do.
Like not
All the
like
way
a
to the ground.
half-ass. Like
No. I mean, nose to the fucking floor, back up, and down again. That is because you have to start on the floor. You don't start from the up position. You start on the floor. Your nose got to be on the floor. And then you push up and you hold and you drop it back down. And I want to be able to do one of those by the end of 2025. And that is my goal. And I have a little training regimen set up for myself. So, as part of my workout, when I do it, which is I'm trying to do it every day, just a little, because they're not crazy workouts. They're short workouts. So I feel like because they're tiny and I'm not focusing on wearing my muscles out, I'm doing it almost every day. Minimum 5 days a week. And I'm starting with wall push-ups, but in that position. So I want to train my body to know what it feels like to be like in this position, but I'm starting on the wall, like really close to the wall, like my feet not back very far. And we're just focusing on getting my arms used to making this movement, right? And I'm going to do that until it feels really easy. And I'm going to back my feet up. And then I'm going to move to the counter and back my feet up to where I'm a little bit more on an angle. And then we're going to move to the knees. And then we're going to move to the feet. And it's going to be,
have a chair between.
yeah, a chair, like something, right? Like we're going to work our way there, from wall push-ups to a real one by the end of the year. That's my goal. And because I've never set a goal for myself and achieved it either. I've never hit a goal. I've never worked towards something and actually gotten that thing, other than when I was working at my job and I was wanting assistant manager and then I was given assistant manager. But that was more of because my boss pushed really hard for me to have that job, not because, and I did earn it by what I was doing, but like that was fueled by something different. And I don't want that to be fueled by this deep people pleasing thing. I want this to be
For
simply
you.
because I want to learn what it feels like to feel like that. So that's my silly goal. And that's what I want to do. And you've heard enough of me talking for the last damn near 45 minutes. This is going to be a longer episode than I thought. Sorry.
I don't think mine will be as long because I don't have as much to say.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have that much of a talk about it. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I didn't realize it'd been that long. But yeah, that's it for me. What do you want to say about it, Aminder? What is your thing? What's a recap of your year, and then do you have any goals?
I haven't had as much as an interesting year, good or bad. Like I have talked before, like we moved last year. I got into this position. I did in November, so last month I made it 6 years with my company, so it means I get 100% of their contributions to my 401k, which is pretty cool. I was like basically I always have this anxiety, and this is like a people pleasing thing. Like I always have this anxiety that I'm constantly in trouble and that I'm going to be fired at any moment. So yeah. There was a time there's probably the week or two leading up to my 6-year anniversary. I don't know why I had in my head, I'm like, they're going to fire me. They're going to fire you the day before your 6-year anniversary, and you're going to get 80% of their contributions, not 100%. What did you do? I don't fucking know. You did something though. You did something. So
God bless you.
But I did make it. So they got me now, bitch. So still in that same position. We are making some changes. Basically, my boss is not going to be my boss anymore because someone else is taking that half of her job. So that this person is going to be my new boss, and I like this person that's going to be my boss. I think we get along fine. That's always good. Yeah, it's like I haven't worked with her in quite a long time. Like I work with her in the sense of like we will call each other for work related things or like emails or something, because like her department is closely tied with my department. Okay. And so, but I did work with her like when I was a float teller. She was a loan officer, so whenever I worked at her branch, that was when I would work with her like in person. But anyway, so just been doing that job, and then like I talked about before, we moved to this new office in June, and I've hated it. This, like, you were talking about, talking about fitness goals and everything. Like, I was doing that sort of stuff because I had my own office that I can close my door. Like, I had a blind for the window, so like I was doing like I was trying to also lead up to push-ups. Like, I can't do a push-up. I can barely do a girl push-up. Like, it hurts my knees to try to do a girl push-up, and I
Yeah.
know my ass is up in the air, so I know I'm doing it wrong. Like, I've never been able to do a push up because I've just never had the upper body strength. Like, my power has always been in my legs, which I think is like that's most women thing. Like, women tend to have more strength in their lower legs or in their lower
Yeah.
body than upper body. But like my other coworker, who she's also been on a fitness journey, she can do multiple push ups, and I'm like, how? How? What is this sorcery? Can I try you as a witch? Because I don't understand. And so
You're a witch.
you're a witch. She witched. She turned me into a newt. Um, but so like I started out like I could close my door and I would start out like you said like doing wall push-ups, and I got pretty far back to where I was like basically putting all my weight on my hands. Like I probably could step like and then do one huge step back, and that was where I would start out. That's how far. And then I got up to the point where I was doing it on like pushing off from my desk and stuff.
Hmm.
But then we moved. And so I don't really like we have a gym in our building, but one, it's in the complete opposite side of the building, which is not really a problem. It's more the fact of like when I had my office, I could just get up and just be there and do whatever I need to be. Like I had an exercise ball, I did my stretches on the floor. Whereas here, I don't have anywhere nearby that I can just do that. And because I'm so focused at work, I can't like it's just more of an effort to get up. It's something I have to think about. It's like it's very executive function
Yeah.
related, where it's like
Yeah.
getting up, having the conscious effort to like either find an empty room and do them, which I have done. Like I have gone to like an empty room or whatever to do stretches and stuff. And sometimes I'll do it at my desk because who the fuck cares. But so I will do that, but it's just more of an effort of doing that. And I've been lapsing on my I used to like 4 to 5 times a week go walking on my lunch, but now because it's just like I feel so drained from this building, like I just don't have the energy. And it's not like energy, I guess. It's more like because I feel so mentally drained from just how overstimulating my office building is. I don't like, I literally just kind of like find another place to sit, or I just sit at my desk and like just scroll on my phone, or I color or something, which is not inherently bad. It's just I was building up. I had a route I would walk outside, and I was just getting that route like lower and lower and lower, like down to like from like I started out like 50 minutes when I first started doing it. I got down to like 40 minutes or something, like the same route. So it's something I want to get back into, and I don't mind walking in winter. I'm probably gonna go walking tomorrow. I was gonna go to today, but my tailbone hurt too much. But
Understandable.
yes, because like you wouldn't think, but yeah, your legs do affect your tailbone. Like moving your legs does pull on your ass muscles, But so I'm hoping to walk tomorrow. It's supposed to be 40 degrees, but sunny, and so my
Yeah,
my
it'll feel
winter coat,
nice.
yeah, my winter coat keeps me pretty warm. So probably do that. Plus, I had to run errands like yesterday, so I just didn't have to. Oh, plus I also had to go get my chair. My chair was delivered to my house, and I wasn't worried about my neighbors stealing it, but I came home and put it inside anyway. Um, in terms of like other things, I guess one thing, and I think it just kind of like has hit me lately, and I kind of mentioned this to you and Scott, where I've been increasingly feeling lonely, and so to where it's like I want to be in a relationship with someone. I just don't know how to put myself out there like reasonably. And because it's kind of like a combination of I want to be with someone, but I also like my alone time. So the time you spend with me has to be better, like has to feel better for me than the time I have alone. That sort
That's
of
a good place to be, though.
yeah. And so that's sort of like concept. Like, yeah, it's a good place to be, like, but it's just like having all these friends that are married or engaged, it's like I feel like just kind of like left behind. Like I even had a dream, like Dramamine gives me really fucking weird dreams. And then I went to my coworker on Monday and I said, "Do you ever have dreams like that just give you an existential crisis?" She's like, "Yes, tell me more." And so I said, basically, I dreamt that my cousin Mark, who lives at home with his parents, like will probably forever live at home with his parents, will then probably live with his brother after his parents die, because he if his parents had parented him correctly, he could have been capable of working a job or whatever, living away from home. But they did not do anything to help that. They just they just gave into everything for him. So they basically just coddled him and treated him like a child, and he is 3 months older than I am. And so he lives at home, and when they die, he will live with his brother. That was like part of like the agreement with his brother's like wife is like, "Oh, when we die, is it okay if Mark lives with you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So basically just forcing this 35-year-old man on his younger brother and current, his wife, um and they have a baby now, and it's just, but I had a dream, not like Martin Luther King, but I had a dream where the I was like at the movie theater with like Scott and Mark, and I said, "Oh, do you guys want to hang out?" And Scott's like, "Oh, I got plans with Zach." And then I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh, Mark, do you want to hang out?" He goes, "Oh, I gotta go home." And I think in my dream, his wife's name was Lexi, and like for whatever reason, and they had a baby. So in my dream, my cousin, who has never had a job, doesn't know how to drive, doesn't has never had to do anything in his life, has been stunted his entire life unnecessarily. In my dream, I was alone, but yet he had a wife and child. And
Oh,
so
jeez.
that I woke up like freaking out. I think I'm like, is Mark married? Does he have a child? I don't
I
know.
get
It was
it was
so
one of those
real.
so real.
It was
Yeah,
like so
yeah.
real because like we were at the Marion movie theater. Like that's where
Oh
we were.
God,
We were at
yeah,
the Marion movie theater. Granted, the movie theater looked different. It looked like it had been like built up, but it was basically the Marion movie theater. And so I remember like I said, Scott went to go be with his husband, and then Mark went to go be with his wife, and I was just left alone. Like, and it's like the fear of abandonment thing. Like left
yeah.
alone in the Marion theater parking lot, and that's when I woke up. And so it's just, so it's not really a goal, because it's like it's weird to say like, "Oh yeah, I have my new year resolution is to be in a relationship by the end of the year." That to me that's weird. Like that's not something you can just like really force. But
Yeah.
it's just something I've just been thinking more and more of, where I just feel lonely, um
Yeah.
yeah, like all the time. And so I try to distract myself. That's like part thing of work, where I I feel like these past few months I've been so busy at work, and that's not necessarily, it's like both by design and both of my own doing, because even if I don't have any work to do, I will find something to do, so I just keep my mind on off other things. And so that way I just keep myself um busy and that sort of thing. So um that's kind of where I'm at. Not to get too sad about everything, but that's
Well,
kind
I
of where
mean,
I'm at.
that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's kind of
So,
where I'm at. In terms of like other stuff, I don't know. Um, like I said, building up like my healthiness, like I'm finally down to like the 150s in terms of my weight loss. Like a few years ago, I jumped up. Like I don't care about telling people how much I weigh. I don't fucking care. It's just a number. So like I got up to like 228 a few years ago after like gaining like 30 pounds, and then so now I'm back down to the 150s, and so I would like to be like exactly 150. That's I am 1 pound away from the lowest I've ever been in my adult life, and I've never seen anything below 1 pound. But it's also like if I get down to 150, I will be half the weight I was at my highest. So to me
yeah.
that's like a good, like a reasonable goal, because it's also like just at the high end of normal BMI. And yes, I know BMI is a stupid ass metric system to like
Yeah.
to base things on, but it's for me it's like 150 is attainable. I like it's like I don't have the healthiest eating style. Like I had pizza for dinner today. I had nachos for dinner yesterday. It's like I don't eat well. And so I basically just lose weight just from being in a calorie deficit, and not like in an unhealthy way to where I extremely restrict my calories. It's more of like I don't really measure things. Like if I add cheese to something, I don't like measure it by the cup. I just like,
Yeah.
handful of cheese. Yeah, that's about right. Handful of cheese. Like, oh, like, in order to use this butter, like this much butter is 50 calories. Just put a knife through the butter. That's how much butter I'm going to be using, and I just guess. And so I don't
Yeah.
really weigh that sort of stuff. But so that's kind of my goal for next year is just trying to like you be healthier, because I feel like I do have like a weak heart, so like that's part of the thing of like going walking and everything is like building that up. I would like to be more flexible. Like I'm like the most inflexible human ever. Like when you were talking about your hypermobile like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I'm like, well, I know for sure
Hmm.
I don't have that, because there's no way I could have that. And so it's like, well, I can cross that thing off my list because I am so inflexible. So that's like, so I try to like stretch it at my desk. Like I have my little exercise ball that I'll sit on sometimes, and that's basically what I work towards. I think that's all I have to say.
So you need to do some yoga.
Yeah, the thing is that like I'm sure this exists, but every time I find like yoga videos, it's already someone that already knows how to do yoga. Like she's a little thin thing, and has been doing yoga for 12 and a half years, and she has been to India and all this stuff, and usually white. But I need to find someone that's like heavier and that's like doing it at the same time. Like maybe they're not like me, like freshly beginner, completely inflexible, but someone that doesn't exactly know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Nourished Natasha.
yeah.
She's a witchy. I like her because she's witchy. And I've not done too many of her yoga videos, but the ones I have done are incredibly beginner friendly and incredibly conscious of people in larger bodies because she isn't a larger body herself. But she's a yoga teacher and has been doing yoga for ages. But she keeps all of her yoga very simple
Hmm.
and very attainable, and will show you how to modify everything as you go. For people who can't get into certain poses, she tells you get a block, get this, get that, elevate your hands, or use a towel or whatever. Like she keeps things very simple, and she'll tell you like, okay, like for me, what I like a lot about her is like I have a belly, so I have to move around differently. Like I can't fold myself up like a fucking pretzel because I got fat there. So like she'll
Yeah,
she'll
I have a
say, "Okay,
fupa.
make space for your, make sure you honor your belly, make space for your belly." And so like she focuses on like making sure that the pose is attainable for someone in a larger body. So I would look at Nourish Natasha. Also, yoga with Adrienne is great. She is a smaller thing, but all of her shit is very beginner friendly and very easy to do. But
Yeah, because
I
I
like
can't
both of
even I
those.
can't even like sit on my knees. Like I can't sit on my heels. Like I'm better than I used to be able to. Like I used to have like this much space between my butt and my heels, and that's how far I can go.
Hmm.
I can't crouch for longer than like 10 seconds without my
Yeah.
knees feeling like they're on fire. And so it's just
Yeah.
like it's mainly like it's knee and hip flexibility, because like one, I sit all day, so I know that's part of it. And so that's like one thing for the exercise ball. I tend to do like little pelvic circles, hip circles, whatever, on the
Yeah.
exercise ball. And so like I never used to be able to like touch my toes. Now I can. And so I've gotten like my back more flexible, but it's just whenever I see people, like it's just one of those weird things. It's like, man, I wish I could do that. It's such simple things. Like even like when I go walking and say there's like these guys working on like one of the light poles, like they're city workers working on one of the light poles, and there's like this one guy, he's just like outright sitting on his heels, sitting on his legs, like it's no problem. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that hurts for me. Like I can't like that, like, and I have bruises after, like, when I get up and everything, and it's just like, I wish I could do
Yeah.
simple things like
You
that, or
have
like
to work your way up to it. You
yeah,
can't slam your body into it. You have to
I
be
know.
very, very slow
And
about it.
same, like, whenever I see people, like, just crouch, like, whenever like, one of my coworkers came by my desk, and he just, like, crouched next to my desk, and he's, like, a heavier set guy, and I'm thinking, like, "How the fuck are you doing this sorcery over here? I don't understand." Like, I'm thinking my
Some
whole
people
time
just have it, man.
yeah, the whole time I'm thinking, like, "How do you have the ankle and knee strength to do that?" I don't get it. And because like,
Yeah.
my ankles are, like, shaking by that time, by, like,
Yeah.
after a few seconds, it's ridiculous. So, I think that's all I have for my past year and my goals.
And like I do want to talk about it for a minute. I do like I've been obviously we've been friends for a very long time, and I do know that the whole like putting yourself out there has been something you've struggled with a lot. And let's be real. The fucking options out there for actual like good relationships, it's difficult. It's difficult to suss through all of the fucking crazy people to find a decent human to connect yourself with anymore.
It's also, like, I'm getting
And
to the age, it's like most guys my age will have kids, and it's like, I'm not completely against, like, dating someone with kids. It's the fact of, like, I feel like, if we were to get married or something, like, would I just be the detached stepmom? Or what if he has a crazy baby mama? Like, I don't
yeah,
wanna deal with that shit. So it's like, if I'm dating my age, it's either I'm dating, like, a burnout, like, someone who doesn't really have many goals in life and stuff like that, or he has kids. And so it's like, I
yeah,
don't have a lot of options. And so that's, like, partly the other thing. It's like, I did go on a few dates with a guy a few months ago, and nice guy and everything. He was just very clingy, and you know me, like I'm not on my phone all the time. I can't stand being messaged constantly. And so like
yeah,
and it got and like and he wasn't like overly rude or anything about it, like hey, where you at? Why aren't you messaging me? Like nothing like that, but it was more of the fact of like I felt obligated to reply to him, and I couldn't reply. Like it seemed like he always had his phone in his hand, and I'm not that
yeah,
person. I told him like I was like I can have my phone at work. It's just I literally sometimes will leave my phone will be in my back pocket until like maybe noon. Like I literally
yeah.
don't look at it at
Because you're
all.
working.
Yeah, I'm working, and also like when I get home, like I literally just kind of like toss my phone somewhere else because it's like I don't want to
Yeah,
it's like this is me time. I don't want like I don't want to like message people back or anything. So that's
yeah,
that sort of thing. And so it's just trying to start. It's like why can't I have one of those like meet cutes where I just find the guy in the store, we talk to each other in line, and like oh my god, then we fall in love. And so it's just it's whatever.
I think a lot of that too, and I know you've said this before, it's like you struggled with your self confidence, so you feel like it's harder for you to you don't put yourself out there because you don't know what to like you don't know what you're putting out. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what are you putting out there because you don't feel like there's much to offer, and it's like that's totally not fucking true because you have a lot to offer. But I do think it's going to be one of those unique situations for you where like you said, their presence has to be better. Like they have to add to your life. They
Mhm.
cannot subtract from your life. And that's actually though, Amanda, like that is a really healthy place to be. As difficult as it is to be in the situation of being single and not wanting to be single, that whole mentality of like you have to be so good that you're better than being that it's better to be with you than be by myself. Like I feel better when I'm with you than when
Like
I am by
yeah,
myself.
you're not like
That
taking
is
away from
such
my alone
a
time. Like you're not
right.
taking away from my alone time.
That is such a healthy fucking place to start a relationship from because you're not seeking a relationship out of desperation. Like, take it from me. Don't just immediately run at people because you're like, you person, I want. Like, it's gotten me, as you know, in some very fucked up relationships. Like, you have to have that very healthy self, like, identity and that very healthy, like, contentment about who you are, and for the most part contentment about your life. Obviously you want to add a relationship to that, and that's normal, but like you said, you're not just going to accept the first one that comes around because you're tired of being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
You have standards, and that's good. Like, that's a good thing. You don't want to lose that. Like, I'm not going to encourage you to lighten up on your standards. Like, I'm really not. Like, you need to set those and know what they are. And like, if someone with kids is not someone that you want to date, then that's not someone you want to date, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you decide that like, hey, I really, really like this person, and yes, they have kids, and I'm not going to be, you know, so bad about that. Like, maybe they have older kids, and so the kids don't really need much from you, and you just kind of are around. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you can't date someone with young children, and that's, you know, also a choice. But like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that if you got to a place where you felt like you could, you know, start putting yourself out there, maybe get on more serious dating apps instead of like, maybe we don't Tinder, maybe we don't OkCupid. I'm just saying, like, maybe we don't Tinder, maybe we Bumble, or maybe like we do something else where it's a little bit more serious, where people on there are actually looking for a relationship and not just looking to fuck, right? Like, they're not just DTF, they're actually looking for a relationship. And like, who knows, man? You never know. You could be in a relationship by the end of next year. It's the energy you put out too. Like, you gotta put yourself out there. And I feel like that's where you struggle a little bit, which is fine, normal, understandable. But like, I don't know. And as far as like the distracting yourself, I totally get that too, because I've been there, done that for many years. But I do feel like if it's attainable for you, maybe it's time to start therapy. Only because, and I say that only because I think everyone should have a therapist. Like, if you've lived longer than a year on this earth, you're traumatized. So like, you need a fucking therapist. And, you know, I understand how absolutely privileged that is to say of me, because it's not even attainable for a lot of people, and I get that. But like, I think it would be a wonderful investment for you if it were attainable for you to do that, because I think it would really help you.
Scott has told me to. Scott has told me.
Yeah,
that. He's like,
I think 2025 is the year of Amanda dealing with Amanda, and then once Amanda has dealt with Amanda, Amanda can deal with someone else. And it's not fun. Believe me, it's not fun to look at your own self in the mirror and go, God damn it.
Oh, trust me, I have all the time in the world to look myself in the mirror. So
I know, but with objection, like with someone who has an objective view, you sitting in your head and beating yourself up is not looking at yourself in the mirror. Like, you have to, it's not the same thing. It's not what I'm talking about. This is about analyzing who you are, why you do the things you do, and getting an objective viewpoint on those things, and learning more about why your brain does the things it does, and getting a clinical perspective on it. Not, I'm a fucking idiot, why do I do these things, I am so dumb. Like, you can't rejection sensitive dysphoria yourself into a better person. You can't, you know,
watch, like, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, watch me, hold my beer. Like, it's not gonna work, believe me. And you know, I'm here. I've been through therapy. I know it sucks, and sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's also wonderful. And it's gonna suck before it's wonderful, unfortunately.
It's darkest before the dawn.
Bitch, ain't that the truth? Honestly. Like, for real. Yeah, I think it's time. And I think I would not be a good best friend if I did not tell you that I might be checking on you monthly until you have a therapist. Like, me and Scott are going to be in the group chat and be like, listen, when's the appointment? Because we need to know we have an appointment. Because it's
time. Then I'll just scream HIPAA.
Listen, I'm not asking you to tell me what happens in your sessions. I'm asking you to prove to me that you have an appointment and that you went. That's all I'm asking.
I need you to take a selfie with your therapist with their doctorate behind you, like in their office.
It's just time, man. It's just time. You're halfway to 40, bitch, and I'm not far behind you. It's time to deal with the bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just is. It just really is. And that's for everybody. Like, we've got to get our shit together personally, or we're not going to survive this fucking world, man. If it's for nothing else, it's for our own goddamn survival, you know? So, okay, I won't bitch at you anymore about not having a therapist. It's just because I love you.
It's tough love.
It really is. It is tough love sometimes. Listen, you've had to dish them out to me before, so even though you're sometimes a little bit nervous too, like I'm gonna like be mad at you about it or something, I know when I need to be told what the fuck's up. It's fine. I don't have to like it, but I'm always like, yeah, bitch, you right.
Like, you got some points. You got some points.
Yep. Listen, nobody has to like it. I'm not asking you to like it, but you know I'm right. So, and I know you're right. When you come to me like, listen, Linda, that's enough. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. Okay. All right. You right. But okay, let's lighten it up before Amanda absolutely folds in on herself and disappears into thin air because she's tired of being told what to do. Let's lighten it up. Let's hit the fun and fuckery. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
You're like, please, God, yes. Okay, I have another question from the universe.
Sure.
Another very light one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Would you rather be able to speak every language or play every instrument?
Speak every language.
Same, bitch. Same.
It's one of those things. Like, it's weird because it's like I don't like it's not like I say like I don't like necessarily conversing with people, but it's more of I would love to be like the go-to person at like the UN. Like, we need a translator from Swahili to Korean. Gotcha, bitch, I'm there. Or like,
right.
Yeah, we need it like from like from like Papua New Guinea, whatever that language is, to like Norwegian. Yep, got you. And then like even this includes, because like this is something I thought about a lot. This includes every dialect and like every and it would be great if that included dead languages. Like if you were the person that could like every Native American language that's gone away, just other stuff like that. That would be fantastic. It's like one of those like dream things. It's like, man, I wish I could speak every language. Like, to be able to like go back and read like ancient Arabic that is not, or was it ancient Hebrew? Like an Egyptian Aramaic. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, Aramaic. The one that like important documents were written in, and then no one really knew what to say. Yes, like I want to know, because think about the fucking unlimited knowledge you have access to. You get if you can. Sorry, and this is like such a selfish thing, but you get paid so much money. No shit. Like, you would be such an invaluable resource to like everyone in the world. Mm-hmm. Everyone in the fucking world. The scholars, the fucking heads of state. And you're talking about how you like, he's like, oh, I just like, I'd like to feel important. Talk about feeling important. I would argue that if you could speak every language fluently and knew even dead languages, somehow that you would be the most important person on the planet. Like, literally the most important, most valuable human on the planet. Because spoken and written language is so, written especially language, is so fucking valuable to be able to have an understanding of. Like, it's not valued like it used to be, obviously, because everything's digital now, and it's like, it's not valued like it used to be, but I think it would just be the most incredible fucking thing to be able to do it. Like, I envy people who can, like, fluently speak 5 languages. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Like, I think I was watching a PewDiePie video the other day,
And I think he said Marzia, his wife, can speak 5 different languages fluently.
She speaks, I know she speaks like obviously English and Italian. I think she speaks Japanese. I'm not sure if she knows Swedish because of him or what, but I'm sure she knows other like other European languages, like probably German or French or something. Like
Yeah.
when I was in Spain, like I regularly met people, and granted, it's easier for people in Europe to learn a bunch of languages because it's basically like say like the states here had their own individual languages. Like if we're in Illinois, we would probably be fluent in like Illinoisan and like
Mhm.
Indianan and then like Missourian and whatever. We'd probably be fluent in all those. Whereas like I met people like there's these one people that I'm still friends with on Facebook where they lived in Germany, were from Portugal, so they were fluent in English, Portuguese, German, um, Spanish, and I think French. So like
Yeah, that's
just and they
crazy.
just and they just switched so easily. And then there's other people like this lady from Switzerland that I met that she was also like in Switzerland. I think a lot of people, especially because they'll learn like German or like Swiss German and then like French, especially, and then like English. And so it's just easier. And like even like Melania Trump like speaks 5 languages. And so
Yeah.
it's just easier. And so like I feel like in the US we're kind like we don't really put as much focus like at most
No.
Spanish. And like even then it's like very rudimentary. Like I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and 1 year in college, and it's like I still feel like a kindergarten like a Spanish kindergartner could speak circles around me.
Yeah. And I think most schools, I think in other countries, like English is a required language no matter what. I think in most schools in other countries, but also you're also required to then learn another language on top of that.
Yeah.
So already
From a young
you're
age.
being
And it helps
yeah,
from a
from
young
a
age.
young age. Absolutely. Like you're already in ESL classes from jump, but then you're also expected to learn another language on top of that. So most people outside of the US, I think, know it minimum 2 to 3 languages,
Mm-hmm.
are fluent in 2, their own, and then, English, and then are required to at least have some knowledge of another one. And it's like you said, it's not valued here. We're only required to take a second language, I think, in high school, right?
Yeah.
And even then, we only have to take 3 years, right?
2.
2. I'm sorry, 2 years. Worse. Like, because you can't become fluent in a language by taking it in high school for 2 years.
Yeah, there's
It's just
basically
not going to
40,
happen.
45 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Like
No,
that's not gonna
it's not
happen.
going to cut it.
And it's also like, it's kind of like when I watch like there's like a couple of Japanese shows that I watch and like live action Japanese shows, and then when they're like learning English and they're like the characters are speaking English like in their English class, it's just very jarring. I'm like, like it's like
Wait a minute.
it's like hold on, I understood that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, but my mind went blank. But yeah, it's like the whole like joke of like what do you call someone who speaks 3 languages trilingual? What do you call someone who speaks 2 languages bilingual? What do you call someone that speaks 1 language American?
Yeah, pretty fucking much. I
Yeah,
mean, seriously. Like, seriously, I don't know. That's why I
and
think why I'm also trying to learn languages now and which is a lot harder as an adult, but like it's not fucking impossible. I just want to be learned. I want to be learned in
like
something, damn it.
I had a guy like he was one of my regulars at Barnes and Noble. He learned Spanish. He was a coal miner and he learned Spanish by listening to tapes like while he was working. And granted, so this is several hours a day. Well, I don't know if he did it every day, but so I'm assuming for at least a few hours a day, he learned Spanish by listening to tapes, and now he like gives free services to like immigrants to like help them at like the government office, stuff like Social Security, stuff like that. And so like he did like
That's amazing.
he did like 3 years, and obviously he was a coal miner, and he's in like I don't know when he started. He's in his 60s now, and he's like yeah, I'm still constantly learning Spanish, but like he's just like the most jolly old white guy you'd ever see. Probably the only liberal white guy in this area, you know? And so but like if someone like that, like someone that is just listening, like obviously it's repetition, that sort of thing and practice, like obviously just listening to tapes. I'm not sure if it's one of those where it's like it has you repeat it or whatever,
Hmm.
but it's just kind of repetition of listening to something for hours a day. Like, you know, he said, I think 2 or 3 years. And so, but he's fluent enough to where he can help people at the government office. So it's just, it's crazy.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's what I would do. I'm trying to learn at least one other language fluently, but it's not easy. But let's give words. Sorry.
Works.
I hit my computer. My computer. I hit my fucking keyboard. Lord Jesus. All right, take words from me, ma'am.
Where's pen? There's pen. Okay. I need from you a number.
Oh no, hang on. Oh shit. Okay, 2, please.
2, please. Adjective.
Intense.
Don't go out on me now, pen. Plural noun.
Moo-moos.
Moo-moos.
From our Unhinged episode.
That was such a big thing last time.
From football.
Have you listened to that? You said you listened to that bit.
I have not listened back yet. I'm going to probably tomorrow.
And probably pee yourself.
Yeah.
Color.
Lemon yellow.
Another color.
Walnut brown.
Yellow and brown just doesn't sound very appealing.
It's very 70s.
Yeah, it is. Noun.
Trash panda.
Other noun.
Sad beige mom.
I watched so many, like, it was a couple weeks ago, I watched so many videos about sad beige moms.
Yeah, they're stealing Christmas, these bitches.
I know.
Christmas is supposed to be colorful. Back off with your fucking neutral colored shit.
Granted, it was like a year or two ago. This lady like bought a colorful plastic Christmas tree, like my first Christmas tree, and
spray painted it. I saw that.
Definitely not non-toxic spray paint.
Ugh, for her toddler to play with.
Just made a more muted, like green. Like she bought green, but a more muted green. Like she made all the ornaments like a bronzy color, and it's like, this is gross.
Bitch. Leave it alone.
Verb.
Smear.
Smear. You're a smear campaign. Type of liquid.
Pickle juice. I've been really on pickles lately.
Yeah, I think you said something about pickles last time.
Probably.
Verb.
Fuck.
Pronoun.
Mall Santas. Speaking of Christmas.
Noun.
Oh, I should have done an all Christmas one. I didn't think about it. Ass crack.
Oh no. Type of food.
Stuffing.
I don't like stuffing.
I fucking love it. I made it for breakfast this morning.
Verb.
Cuddle.
And adjective.
Misty. But I only ever want stuffing in the, or some people might call it dressing, in the winter. Like in around the holidays. Like I don't crave it until Thanksgiving time. Well, and then once Thanksgiving time hits.
Yeah, I think it's illegal to eat it any other time.
I think it might be because my body like flips a switch around Thanksgiving time. I'm like, give me green bean casserole, stuffing, fucking gravy, mashed taters,
green beans, tomatoes, hams, yams.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Golden Girls Mad Lib. This one's called Roommate Wanted. With Blanche looking absolutely sloshed in the corner here.
She always does.
Yeah. Okay. An attractive, sassy, single girl is looking... Girl. An attractive, sassy, single girl is looking for 2 roommates. You were close if you said 3. There you go.
Yeah.
I live in an intense home right here in Miami with some of the most beautiful decor. If you love wicker muumuus, accents of tropical lemon yellow and pastel walnut brown, and a lanai so you can bake your beautiful body in the trash panda, this is the place for you. I am a sad beige mom at the museum.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh no! Is this going to be? Oh no! Okay, hold on.
What?
Oh, okay. I think I know where this is going. Okay, back it up and try again.
Okay. I am a sad beige mom at the museum where I smear quite hard, but I also love to have a good time. Monday is my favorite happy hour at the Rusty Anchor, where the boys all buy me glasses of pickle juice and let me fuck my favorite show tunes at the piano. I am for girls who want to enjoy themselves. Definitely no cats, absolutely no mall Santas. Someone who knows her way around the ass crack and and who can whip up a sinfully rich stuffing moves to the front of the line. And most importantly, you must be able to cuddle the rent on time and know how to mix up a misty mint julep. Julep? Julep?
Julep. Julep. Yep.
Julep.
Mint julep. Oh shit. Knows their way around the ass crack. We should have switched fucking schmear because it would have been I'm a sad beige mom at the museum where I fuck quite hard.
Yes, I didn't like really read around. The only one I read when he said ass crack, I read like the first few words. I'm like, oh, that's why I went, oh no.
Oh shit. Okay, well,
I think we yapped enough today.
I'd fucking say so. This is a longer one. But I mean, I figured it might be a little bit just because it's our wrap up one, you know. We didn't talk about any podcast goals, which is whatever. We could do that next time. But maybe we don't have any. Maybe we just want to keep doing what we're doing and let it be what it is. And I think that's a good idea. And if it grows, it grows. And if it don't, oh well, we're still having fun anyway. Anyway, we're gonna go now. It's 10:30. My thing yelled at me and said, "Bitch, go to bed." Mm-hmm. So, all right, we love you. Podcasty things in the show notes. You know what it is. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.